Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame. Y'all excuse me, I ain't got a little chilly. Um, so as you can tell by the title, this is the latest recap of Ready to Love. Y'all, so this week they started off with the men meeting up at the cigar bar, and it's gonna be their turn to eliminate two women. So they are actually going to be going to a barbecue pool party. So of course the men are excited because whether they want to say it or not, they are like, yes, I'm about to see these women half naked, see all these butt cheeks out, all the breasts out. I don't care what lie they want to try to tell us. I know that that's why a lot of them are excited, and I mean, do what you do. But I hate when people want to sit up there and act like, oh, that's not why. You're a lie. But anyway, so they are excited about that. And like I said, two women will be eliminated this week. I'm excited about that too because a few of them need to go and it should have been gone, but whatever. So everybody showed up to the house, and y'all, Jimmy is trying to link up with Kimmy. They trying to have a moment, but I ain't here for it. Like ever since Jimmy said what he said to Terrell, which is the lame dude who had the wooden bow tie that got eliminated last week, hallelujah. I ain't been here for him. He's the one who gave the artificial heart to Alexis. And I'm just like, ugh, stop, I'm tired. Alexis wants to see who really has this good connection with her because a lot of people are here for her. She got a lot of eggs in her basket. You know what I'm saying? She got a lot of irons in the fire, and she gonna have to go ahead and narrow that down if she actually stays on to go any further. Y'all, so Nina walked in and she mad off rip. I'm like, girl, you just walked in the door. Like literally just walked outside. And I guess she scanned the perimeter and she didn't like what she saw because Ashima was all booed up with Darren. And I'm like, girl, he ain't no prize. Why is you living for this one person? Like that's the only person who she lived for. And she made the reference to the eggs in the basket, so that's why I said it. But she was saying, you know, I noticed that a lot of people have several eggs in their basket, but I only have one. And I'm like, girl, I'm tired of you. I'm so tired. I keep trying, but I can't. And y'all, Nina is the one who her hair be all over her head, looking like a mess. It be looking like she just roll out of bed and just keep going, like every day. And that's supposed to be like she actually tried. And I'm just like, girl, you need to go back in the room and try again, because her hair be looking like a complete and utter mess day in and day out. I can admit when my hair look like a mess, but she really be like, oh, I'm out here in public, I'm trying to get a man, and I look toe down on purpose. And I just be like, why? Y'all, but like I said, Darren is over here booed up with Ashima, which I don't understand why they live for each other like that, because like I told y'all, her neck, I got a fat neck, her neck just, I done told y'all, let me get off that, because y'all know I would. So Aisha is laying on Brent's chest, and she's in her feelings because she feels as though he does not spend enough time trying to woo her, and there has not been that much communication, and he felt like, you know, it was okay, and she just does not feel like he's giving her enough attention. And I'm just like, girl, you're doing too much. Because she was just like, I feel like I reach out to you more than you reach out to me. And he just don't feel like he ain't doing what he should at the pace that he should. So he's like confused at this point. Y'all, Mario is in his feelings, right? Tandy is like in a part of the pool with a toy water gun. And she says something about how she squirts or something. She literally was talking about the water gun. So then he felt the need to pull her to the side and was like, I'm gonna need for you not to talk like that, and yeah, that ain't cool for you to talk like that. And Tandy took that as, oh, you trying to control me, I ain't got time. And so she really felt some type of way off rip when he rolled up on her like that. And he did say in his confessional that that's a red flag for him, it's a turn off, like, I really like her, but I can't believe she's talking like this right now. And he did say something to her about how the guys are perceiving her And she was like, I'm not worried about them. Like, you supposed to be worried about me and trying to get with me. Like, why are you worried about what other people say? Which is true. And she just was like, this is me. I'm being myself. So, you know, what's the problem? Y'all, I'm tired. And I mean, my thing is I get both sides. But it's just too much. I'm tired. And my thing is this. I felt like if you feel that strongly about it, you really feel like that's the person who you really are deemed to connect fully with and leave here with. If you feel like she's saying these things and it's just too sexual and all this other stuff, and mainly because you think these guys are going to take it the wrong way and live for it, thinking that they gonna get a chance to experience the squirting session, why not take them to the side and be like, all right, now y'all know how I feel about Tandi. Like, don't even look at her like that. And I mean, I feel like in the same token, you can say something to her like, girl, they, you know, just save that for us. Let that be something that's safe for. I feel like there was a way he could have said it where she could still be herself, but tone it down a little bit. But y'all, it ain't gonna work. I don't see it really working that well. I don't know, I could be wrong, but whatever. Y'all, so Brent and Alexis are actually having a moment. And the connection is there. They've had the connection since they first started talking to one another. And like I told y'all before, he and Alexis were talking one day, and Aisha, like I told y'all, she's the type of person that she like, okay, I gotta scramble, see if I can get somebody, because I ain't made no connection with nobody. So she shot her shot and asked him out on a date. And Alexis is the type that she wants the chase. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with both types of women that do those things, but she being a little bit too aggressive in the eyes of these guys. Like, she doing the most, and she's too all over the place, which I'll get to later. Y'all, so, like I said, you could tell that the connection is there between Brent and Alexis. She's making a lot of, you know, decent connections. But the top two guys that I think she's having the greatest connections with are London, which to me kind of reminds me a lot of Mike from last season, and Brent, which is the guy who has the gray hair. He fine, y'all. But yeah, what I did neglect to mention was after everything happened with Tandi went in the house and was crying. I was just like, Lord, I didn't know you was gonna start crying. Like, it really made her upset to the point where she went and cried. But anyway, y'all, Divine sees London interacting with other women, and she's not here for it. And I'm like, girl, you know it's a competition. You know that everybody is mixing and mingling, and that's just a part of the process. So in my mind, sometimes I'm like, did y'all watch the first show? Like, how did y'all hear about this show? And you got on the show, and a lot of the same stuff happened on the last show. So why y'all acting like y'all don't understand? Like, that's what it entails. Like, this is a part of it. This is a really big part of it. Everybody is gonna mingle with everybody, and somebody gonna get a connection. The connection might be stronger and completely different, but somebody is gonna come out on top after it's all said and done. So I don't know, and I'm just like, girl, what is going on? So they had a moment, and he asked her if he could, you know, steal her away for a little while, because he's going to be the one manning the grill, and he's prepping some stuff in the house to go and put it on the grill. And he, you know, took her on purpose because she has mentioned how she can cook. And so he wants to see, you know, if she can really put her money where her mouth is. So they go on the inside, they're talking, and she wants to know what his intentions are as far as a relationship is concerned. And he was like, you know, I want somebody that's going to be loyal. I want somebody that's going to really be true. You know, and she was like really here for it, because this was the first time that she's seen this side of him where he's actually being serious. Because every time she's had any other interactions with him, he was really, really silly. It was always a joke. It was always flirting and just staring at each other. But this time he actually seemed serious. So that was a plus in her book. So I was like, okay, girl. So she then goes on to say some more stuff. So Divine is in her feelings because she was like, you know, I want to know, is this something that you're telling everybody? Like, am I the only one you said this to, or what? And he was like, yeah. And so she was like, well, I find that hard to believe because I see you over here, you know, doing what you do with everybody else. I was just like, girl, you doing the you're doing too much. And, you know, I was just like, girl, you could have just said, you know, are you more serious about me than anybody else? Or, you know, what? Or who am I competing with? Like, if you really were going to be like that, instead of just kind of beating around the bush. I'm just like, girl. Anyway, you can tell that he has a thing for Alexis. And he has already said that Divine and Alexis are his two top women. So I'm just like, girl. Y'all, Reva and Mario are like in the pool having a moment. And Mario is a grandfather. I forgot if I mentioned that before, but yeah, he's like 41. His oldest child is like 25. And I guess that child or whatever had a child. And he's a grandfather, she's a grandmother. And she's here for the fact that they are grandparents. And so, of course, he can understand her a lot more than all the other people there, because either the other people don't have kids or they have kids, but they don't have grandkids. So they feel like they kind of have a leg up on everybody else in that. And I was like, oh, okay, girl. It's so random because I'm like, girl, you were just trying to be with Carrie, and I just don't see y'all situation popping off like that. I don't know. Anything can happen, but I just don't see it. It doesn't look genuine. And then Tandy saw their interaction. She had her legs like wrapped around him in the water. And she was like, had it not been for that fake laugh, I wouldn't have even noticed that they were in the pool. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all doing too much. Nina is still in her feelings. London is now in the pool with Alexis, and they're talking, and he makes a point to say something about, you know, don't you want to get away? And he says something about a cabin and all this other stuff. She was like, oh my gosh, you read my mind. That would be amazing right about now. And Mario is talking about how red flags are going up for him as far as Tandy. And he's talking to Ashima about this. And she was like, you know what, have you talked to her about it? Because you can't just let stuff fester. It'll turn into something else. And so she ends up calling Tandy over there. And she was like, you know, can you sit between me and Mario? And then y'all can talk. And so he kind of apologized to her. And she was like, you know, I had situations that happened in the past. And so he was like, okay, so did this happen with you, with your exes or whatever? So she was like, yeah. She kind of started crying again. And I was like, Lord. So they kind of made up, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And he was kind of trying to make it seem like, you know, it wasn't my intention to come off to you like your exes, but I just want you to have certain expectations and to present yourself a certain type of way. And I probably should have been able to come to you in a different way instead of the way I did. So y'all, now Reva is in her feelings because Mario is back talking to Tandy. I'm like, girl, you and a few others are in here just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping to stick. I can't. Jimmy and Kimber are trying to have a connection, and I ain't never been here for it. Not really. It's like at first I was trying to kind of see it, but it's just, he's one of the men that's kind of throwing something at the wall, hoping to stick. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all. So they're trying to have a connection, right? And so they're in the pool talking, and she's kind of like in his lap, kind of facing her back, facing him. And so he goes into asking, you know, about her ex, and was like, you know, he still has your heart, doesn't he? And all this other stuff. And so she kind of, you know, hinted at him like, you know, I don't want to discuss that. I'm here for something else. I'm not even with this person anymore. And he kept prying. And so he was like, I want to see the big man come out. And she was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, I want to see it. So she got up out of the pool and walked off and was like, you're dead to me. Like, she was just like, I don't understand why he was doing this to me. Y'all, he was like, I exposed her. I was like, what are you talking? Y'all, I don't understand where he comes up with this stuff. Like, he is really in a state of, oh, I'm exposing everybody now. I tried to give my heart to this person, but since she's here trying to find a genuine connection with everybody else, try to see, you know, who really she has a connection with, there's a problem with her doing that. Like, I can't. Y'all, talking about he done exposed her. She done walked off, like I said. She went in the house and actually started crying in the bathroom. I'm like, Lord, everybody gonna go in the bathroom and cry for the end of the night. So anyway, Alexis and Carrie start talking, and he over here talking to her, and they trying to form some kind of connection. I don't see it at all. I'm sorry. If the connection with him and Reva was the only connection I saw the two of them having in the house with anybody. Nothing outside of the two of them. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So he's trying to have a connection with her, and so he said something about a jet being at the airport. If he had a jet at the airport, you know, where would she want to go? And she said South Africa, and he really fell out trying to make it seem like that's exactly where he wanted to go. That's exactly the place that he would say she need to get out of his mind. And I'm like, alrighty then. So in his mind, she is right up his alley. So y'all, Aisha is really out here trying to make a moment happen with Mario. And Mario ain't here for it because he already is trying to juggle two women and it ain't working out as it is. And Brent done got tired because he looking like, really? So he ain't here for her. You over here talking about you ain't getting enough attention and all this other stuff. So you really going out here seeking attention from any and everybody. People you ain't never even really talked to like that. So you're really doing the most helpful, y'all. So then Kimber is like having a moment where she's just talking to Carrie. And then Jimmy rolled up and was like, can I talk to you for a minute? And she was like, no. She was just like, no. And he was like, you know, I'm being for real. I'm trying to apologize. Can I talk to you for a minute? She was like, no, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I told you that you're dead to me. This fool had the nerve to say that he was a G and you could never cross him twice. I was like, what are you talking about? Y'all, I cannot. I don't understand. And even Tommy has realized that he has a thing about him where he says all the time, well, I like whoever like me. And it's like, what? So like I said before, he just here throwing whatever at the wall and see what sticks. And I'm just like, nah, I can't. So y'all, the men met back up at the little cigar bar and they discussed their connections and the ones that lack thereof, and it's a lot of stuff in the air. Jimmy and his feelings, especially when he hears that other people like Alexis and whatever, and they kept on zooming in on him. I was like, y'all need to stop. Oh my gosh. Y'all, London, Carrie, and Mario were the ones who had to go meet up with Divine, Aisha, and Nina. Y'all, Nina went home, hallelujah, and Aisha went home. I'm tired. But y'all, that was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought in the comments of this episode. Y'all like this if you want to. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.